The event is about to begin. Please make your way to your seats. The event is about to begin. Please make your way to your seats.
Welcome to the inaugural SharkNinja Innovation Challenge, a nationwide competition created to empower the next generation of innovators, creative problem solvers with ideas built to improve everyday life for consumers. Over the past several months, students and early career entrepreneurs from across the country stepped forward with new concepts aimed at transforming everyday challenges into extraordinary solutions. From those submissions, 7 finalist teams were selected to develop their ideas further, with mentorship and support from SharkNinja and industry experts.
At SharkNinja, true innovation starts with solving a problem.
Consumers coming right at the beginning so that it is the best product for the job.
It's a collaborative process.
Some people will innovate technology for technology's sake. We innovate for cleaning's sake.
Together with Mass Challenge, a global network supporting entrepreneurs, this competition was created to help emerging innovators turn bold ideas into real-world impact. And today, those ideas take center stage.
Please welcome to the stage your host for the evening, John Valentine.
Good afternoon, everyone. And welcome to the first inaugural SharkNinja Innovation Challenge live pitch finale. Let's go. So as you heard, I'm John Valentine from Mass Challenge, and it's an incredible pleasure and privilege to be with all of you here today. Because what we're going to be witness to today is not just a pitch competition, but it is a glimpse into how the future gets built. At SharkNinja, innovation revolves around one central theme, and that is positively impacting people's lives every day in every home all around the world. And it doesn't just happen by accident. It happens because you can see problems that others don't, and you can solve problems that others can't or won't. It's because you're able to look each other in the eye and say, we reserve the right to get smarter every single day. To iterate, to challenge assumptions, and to chase better. And because you set a bar that's almost unreasonable, some might say a outrageously extraordinary bar, right? And then you put your head down and you build anyway. And that's what makes SharkNinja not just a product company, but a consumer problem-solving engine. And today, you're going to see some of that DNA in action. And so over the last several months, these 7 student teams have been at work, not just building their products, but testing it with the real audience, reimagining what's possible, and taking the realm of possibility further than anyone has before. And so these 7 teams really represent the next generation of problem solvers. And today, we're all excited for them to take the stage. To kick things off, please join me in welcoming the CEO of SharkNinja, Mark Barocas. Hello.
Thanks so much. Look, I can't think of something more appropriate for SharkNinja to be a part of. I mean, this is what we do every day. I mean, this is where we were 18 years ago. I mean, we were starting up and we were trying to figure our way out. You know, why does the world need us? You know, what problems could we solve? And you fast forward to today, and we do that in 38 different product categories, but every product category we get into, you know, it's like a new startup. And so you're going to hear from 7 teams that have really set an unimaginably high bar in a game worth playing. I mean, they feel like they've got something that is so exciting, you know, that the world needs them for. And so, you know, I came from an entrepreneurial background. You know, my father and my grandfather, and particularly my grandfather, always instilled in me this belief that, you know, you build your own brand and you work for yourself. Regardless of whether you know, actually have your own company, you know, what you're doing is you're constantly building up, you know, your brand and who you are and what you're known for. And I think when you look across SharkNinja, you see that, you know, in people and what they've accomplished and how they keep building on it. And so, you know, today you're going to hear from 7 teams that are at the early stages of building their brand. And, you know, as I went through, I mean, I just heard backstage, I mean, these are 19 to 21-year-olds. I mean, like 21 is like the senior in the group. I mean, so this is amazing. So I don't know at 19 that many of us were thinking about kind of starting a business and, you know, developing it to the stage that they are. But just getting to this point for them is amazing. And, you know, my hope is that we could just be a little bit of a catalyst to kind of help them get, you know, a little bit further. So with that, you want to hear from them more than me. So, you know, why don't we introduce the group?
Thank you very much, Mark. Sounds good. And you can take your seat
Thank
here
you.
as the lead judge or one of the judges. And I'd love to introduce the rest of the esteemed judging panel for you all today. But first, of course, I want to reintroduce you, the force behind the SharkNinja Innovation Engine, Mark Barocas. All right. Coming up second, a decade plus at SharkNinja, taking incredible, bold ideas and turning them with his team into products that change the way people live, SharkNinja Chief Design Officer Ross Richardson. And third, this is like a lineup, right? A baseball lineup. And third, at the helm of a global platform that backs the founders who have the grit and determination to solve some of the world's biggest problems, please join me in welcoming CEO of Mass Challenge, Kate Brummie. And finally, we have an incredible builder of brands, just like the Gillette Venus. And she is now on a new journey building Boston Legacy FC, the brand new, just debuted women's soccer team in the professional league. So, as a founding member, I'm actually bringing my family next week. So please join me in welcoming Stephanie Connaughton. Thank you. Absolutely. All right. We've got our judging panel installed. Is everyone ready for the startups? Yes. All right. All right. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to go one by one through the 7 startups, giving their pitches for about 5 minutes, and the judges will have 5 minutes to give Q&A. And after the 10 minutes, they're going to flow out, and we're going to roll right into the next, after which the judges will go and deliberate, and there will be a special surprise for you all before awards and reception afterwards. And so, the first startup that we're going to bring here today is going to be
Today's your big moment. You've earned your way to this stage. Now, it's time to go make it count. You're here to compete, to show what you built and why it matters, and really why you believe in it, because that's what champions do. This is your Super Bowl. You've told the world your idea is worthy, and now it's time to prove it. I want you to lock in. Trust your work, trust your team, and trust yourself. That's the most important. This moment is really special because very few get here, and you've earned it, and now you go out there to win. Congratulations, good luck, and let's effing go.
I got slightly interrupted by Tom Brady, but thank you, Tom. And without further ado, we're going to get the show on the road with our first startup pitching. Give it up for Spindro.
Hi, my name is Sophia Prats, and I designed Spindro. When I first read the email that I had passed to the finalist round of the SharkNinja Challenge, I got really excited. I had to reread the email a couple times just to make sure that I had read it right.
Hi everyone, my name is Sophia Prats, and I have to admit, I love designing boring experiences. Don't get me wrong, I love designing fun experiences too, but there's something so satisfying about finding a pain point or an annoying experience and just turning it into a mundane experience. This means that I designed a solution so well that the person isn't even thinking about the problem anymore. That's what I love to do, and that's what motivated me to create Spindro. Spindro is a product meant to solve a real problem with no real solution. A problem that I noticed in my own chair in my house. Chair wheels trap hair, dust, and dirt, and over time they start to stick or scrape. This is very frustrating because suddenly your chair just isn't working. There are no solutions right now other than DIY fixes, which are either inefficient or unsafe. The most popular solution is to pry open the wheel using brute force, which is extremely hard to do or just impossible if you don't have any tools. Judges, you all have clean wheels, you're welcome, in front of you. Please try to open them just with your hands. It's really hard, harder than you would think. And if you don't open the wheel, then you have to use unsafe household items like blades, knives, or scissors, which is just not practical. So as a result, people simply ignore the problem and live in their frustration or just replace the chair entirely. To validate the problem, I looked into how people are cleaning their wheels. I spoke with over 10 office managers, cleaning companies, and people like me who just want to clean their wheels at home. I noticed that they all agreed with this problem, and they all had completely different cleaning methods, all of them being inefficient. They all really needed a solution. That's where Spindro comes in. Spindro is a 3-step cleaning toolkit designed to open and clean the wheel easily and safely. First, you take the wheel opener, you squeeze, and it opens. That way, you can open the wheel easily and safely. Then you grab the hook, which has a small blade inside, so you can cut through all the dirt. And finally, the brush just brushes everything out, and you're good to go. The best part is, this literally took seconds, not minutes. Getting here was a very iterative process of a lot of intentional design. The grip squeeze design is for control and comfort. The mechanism inside the opener increases force so that it's easier to open the wheel. And finally, the additional tools eliminate the need for unsafe household alternatives. I'm an experienced designer, so my thought process was always, how do I get to what consumers need? I worked with so many engineers, went through a lot of iteration, and just guided the design process to get to this current design, which is based around usability, functionality, and manufacturability. If you haven't noticed, wheels are everywhere. Even just the office chair wheel industry is a $1 billion market. And they're not just there. They're in salons, suitcases, they're in our everyday lives. And when they're not working, you feel it. Imagine trying to go clean just one chair. Multiply that by dozens in a salon, or hundreds in an office. You feel it when it's frustrating and it's noisy and it's just uncomfortable. And it ruins your day. Or imagine rolling through your chair and it's not rolling, or it starts making noise, or it stops dragging. Imagine you're walking down the airport and your baggage starts making this weird noise and suddenly everyone's looking at you. It's not a life-changing problem, I know, but it is moment-changing. And to me, that makes it worth solving. Spindro fits within a $60 billion market of household cleaning tools. Even capturing just 1% of that is a $600 million opportunity. And even just a fraction of that is still a great opportunity for scale and growth. Our target market is office managers, cleaning companies, and people who need to clean their spaces in bulk. But a strong secondary market is people like me who want this for their homes. Our go-to-market strategy begins with a direct-to-consumer approach through our website and social media platforms. Our Instagram is live, by the way, at Spindro Wheels. After this, when we have validated the demand, we will move to B2B distribution, going into home improvement stores and office supply stores like Home Depot and Staples. I have been extremely grateful for this opportunity. My product has changed and grown so much in just a couple of weeks, and I'm so excited for what's to come. Spindro truly reflects what I believe, that the best products don't add complexity, they remove it. Just by changing a small inconvenience in your day that makes it slightly better, I think that this is what makes this product outrageously extraordinary. Thank you.
So clearly, I mean, it's a problem that is in plain sight. I mean, I think when you said it, you know, people I saw kind of shake their head, you know, of I have that problem, and I think that's when you know, like, you've really got something that's interesting. I'm curious, like, it works on all wheels, and is there any IP opportunity? Is there a patent?
Yeah, so through the program, we have a provisional patent. It only works on twin wheel casters, which is the basically industry standard for office chairs and most of the rolling furniture you have in your day-to-day life. Just because of the caster wheel that isn't the twin caster wheel is a completely different design. So part of the toolkit would work, but not the complete, like the opener wouldn't work on that.
A quick question for you. I love finding problems that other people haven't seen before, so I think this is excellent.
Thank you.
The mechanism, explain the mechanism a little bit to me. How does it actually work?
Yeah, so it's basically a trigger clamp. So when you squeeze the grip, it opens the levers, and that opens the...
Opens it.
Yeah.
And what happens to all the debris? What do you do with that? You just throw
It's attached to the wheel, or sorry, to the chair, so that just kind of, you don't actually have to hold the wheel to open it.
And how much do you think this is going to cost?
I have, because I'm in the design process, I still need to finalize the design, find manufacturers, and then I will...
How much do you think people are willing to pay for it?
Educated guess would be around the $20 mark for the kit, and then maybe selling each piece individually for replacements.
Okay.
How long does it take per wheel?
It should take about really seconds, obviously depending on how dirty and how stuck the wheel is, but a couple seconds for each wheel instead of the minutes of struggling and figuring out how you're going to do it that now it does.
So how often does one notice that a chair wheels need cleaning? And what happens today? How does that happen? What's that process?
Yeah, so right now it's one of those things that you notice it when you do, and then there's suddenly you can not stop thinking about it. It's when it just gets really dirty, that's when you start to notice the problem. So it's definitely a specialty tool that when you need it, you have it. Right now, people, or like me, for example, and the people I spoke with, I tried to find any blade that I had or scissors, and that can break the wheel or just obviously hurt yourself, or maybe like quickly like moving it with a lot of force so that something leaves. It's just like a lot of trying to do what you can with what you have, which is very annoying and just does not work.
How many iterations have you gone through already to get to this design?
I went through 3 different designs, but a lot of iterations inside those designs. So I went with one main one before getting to this program, and then in the program I changed twice to the one that we have now.
And have you watched have you gone through the consumer journey? You've watched consumers use it? And
I haven't been able to see consumers use the product because it's still a working low fidelity prototype, but I've been able to speak a lot with consumers of how they're currently doing it and going through that process. That's definitely next steps though.
Where do you think, what would be the sort of normal use case in terms of like, where would this be stored? Would it be in a kitchen? Would you have it in your backpack? Would you take it with you? Like, or would it be in a toolbox in your garage? Like, where does it live, this product?
I definitely see it being a toolbox that you can keep with your hammer and your other tools. For office cleaning companies and just cleaning staff in general, it would be in their cart or where they store all of their cleaning supplies. The kit itself would come in a small box or a small kit so that you can always have them together and just having them with your tools.
Do office cleaning companies today have a protocol around checking chair wheels, and like what would trigger them? How do you imagine that gets integrated into workflow of a cleaning company?
From what I've heard, it's mostly just an employee or someone notices the chair is not rolling properly and they call maintenance, and then maintenance goes in and just tries to do what they can. But again, they go through the process of just trying to figure it out and seeing what they can do best, and it's usually not effective.
Have you done any assessment on the damage that it could do to a floor if it wasn't clean? So what you're actually unlocking the potential of maybe, saving, floor types from being damaged? That's
a great point. I've looked into the chairs being thrown away completely because of the wheel, but the damaging of the floors is a great point that I will look into. Thank you.
Awesome. Great. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Hello, my name is Jackson Marbury, the founder of Green Park Lighting. I'm really excited to get to Boston and meet all these amazing founders in different companies to learn what their products are and how innovation is changing the world right now.
Awesome. Well, good afternoon, everyone. We can all agree that the holiday season can be very stressful at times, especially when it comes to hanging those Christmas lights every season. Well, today, I'm going to show you how I can improve your holiday experience. My name is Jackson Marburger, and I'm the founder of Green Park Lighting. Over the past 7 years, I've ran a Christmas light installation service out of the Dallas, Texas, Fort Worth area, where we install over 185 homes every year. And we run into a constant issue when we're dealing with your holiday stake lights. I want you to imagine those stake lights along your sidewalk, your pathway, and your driveway. They can be very difficult and frustrating to assemble those stakes and those bulbs, replacing those bulbs that have cracked over the years. They don't stand up straight, they lean left to right, are not looking up to the sky 180 degrees. That's why I created the Light Spike, a faster, easier, and simpler way to light your walkway. The Light Spike is a US patented holiday stake light that is the first of its kind to be pre-assembled straight out of the box. That means the sock and the stake it are pre-connected with the bulb pre-screwed from the moment you buy the box off the shelf, take it out of the box, place it in the ground, and plug it into your nearest outlet. Our install takes less than 2 minutes. What makes us so unique and different than other products on the market is the way that our socket and stake can come pre-assembled directly from the manufacturer. Our manufacturer presses the socket onto the stake, allowing our product to require no customer assembly whatsoever. During the holiday season, we want to make sure you as a consumer has the best holiday experience possible. That's why we like to talk about our affordability. Our 25-foot option is $49.99. That puts us right in the middle of all products on the market. We're not the cheapest, nor are we the most expensive, but we also consider us to be one of the highest quality products on the market. As well as your customer convenience, our product takes less than 2 minutes. You place it straight into the ground, plug it in the nearest outlet, and you're all lit up. That is 2 minutes more than you have with your family throughout the holiday season. We're currently about $7 billion of holiday lighting is purchased every single season, and about 20% of that just goes directly towards holiday-based lighting. We believe the Light Spike can capture about $14 million of that over the next 3 to 5 years. And by doing that, we'll be targeting customers of ages 35 to 55 married couples in urbanized areas, your frustrated homeowners like yourself who are pulling down those lights from the attic, untangling strands, and putting those stakes and sockets back together every year, as well as your DIY homeowners that are like your social media influencers who have their own consumer base as well. We're currently in Ace Hardware as its last 2025 season in Atlanta, Georgia, and we are continuing to expand into more local retail stores this holiday season, as well as we'll have our own e-commerce website as well as Amazon FBA. And then our short and long-term plan is we're going to continue to expand to more retail stores, as well as over the next few years, we'd love to license the Light Spike out to big-time manufacturers and suppliers like your Walmart, your Target, and your Home Depot to collect those royalty fees from our product. We currently have 34 units sold from our first season, which includes your Ace Hardware purchase order, as well as 2 units sold directly from our e-commerce website. We know that's a low-tier number right now, but we didn't do any promotional marketing towards that like we are this season. We'll have a fully launched Shopify website. And the good news is Ace Hardware has already renewed their 2026 purchase order for this upcoming holiday season. This March, we're currently reaching out cold emailing and cold calling to other retail stores to move our product to shelves. As well, this coming June, we'll have a fully launched Amazon FBA website, meaning we'll be able to prepare for Christmas in July. We know that sounds crazy, but with Amazon being one of the biggest e-commerce websites out there, we have to be able to prepare those algorithms to meet the peak season during your October and November time during the holiday season. As well as next March, we're hoping to prove our sales from this season to show to other retail stores that we place that we can put our product on their shelves next holiday season. My name is Jackson Marburger. I'm the founder of Green Park Lighting. We're here to disrupt the status quo of the holiday industry. We haven't seen a change in over a decade, and our goal is to create a new standard of lighting. Thank you for your time. I'll now open the floor to any questions.
Great. It's great. Congratulations getting into retail.
Yeah.
It's great that you're thinking about not just the product, but the whole commercialization strategy. And you're right, like Christmas comes once a year and you got to be ready for it. So I guess the question is, I mean, how many consumer homes have you tested this in?
Yeah, that's a great question. So before we actually reached the market, we just tested our own product. I tested it on my home for about 3 to 4 months. That included rain, a little bit of snow, and very cold weather. We saw great results. I also tested it at a few homes in Norman, Oklahoma, where I go to school, and the weather there could be very different. We saw great results. We didn't see any color changing on the plastic. There was no cracking. The lights stood up 180 degrees straight, and everything worked great.
Have you done any other like long-term abuse testing? I mean, will these last multiple seasons?
I haven't had the product for a full season yet in order to do that, but after this year, we'll be able to get more results and more data.
Okay.
This is awesome. There's something very close to my heart, these lights that every season I find bits of glass and plastic lying in my driveway where the plow has smashed them up. So the mechanism for pushing it into the ground, like how do you do that? How do you deal with frost and in difficult surfaces?
Yeah, absolutely. And good thing is our bulbs are LED plastic, so they're not going to break if you're smashing them on the sidewalk, which is a great sign. Simply, I mean, I throw this product around. Like I'm physically trying to break this product to see what challenges other consumers might have, and I simply take the product. I mean, I go straight at 180 degrees and place it hard in the ground. Grab it with my hand. I haven't broken a stake yet at all. And it's done firm ground, like dry soil. That's hard, very hard rock as well.
Can you daisy chain them?
Yes, you can, absolutely. So these are 25-foot options, which means 25 bulbs, and you can put four links. It'd be like your 2 sidewalks as well as your yard that's facing the street out front.
What's the feedback been on storage?
Yeah, that's a great question. That is a great question across the entire holiday industry that really hasn't been figured out yet.
Yeah.
We would love to supply some sort of bag or box that you can easily store our product in. As an installer myself, struggle is a huge issue. I mean, we're storing 185 homes, so that's very difficult to do. But right now, all we can say is just store them properly in a bin and just wrap them up nice and neat after the holiday season.
Perhaps I missed it. You've made the decision to go D2C or B2C, whatever, to consumers rather than B2B?
Yes, ma'am.
Selling to somebody like yourself who does installations. How did you make that decision?
Yeah, so as an installer, you need to be able to customize all your lights, meaning you need to cut the line right away where the yard ends. As well as an installer, you want to be able to buy 500-foot rolls and 1,000-foot rolls in bulk. And we haven't found a way to actually package that yet from a manufacturer. But that is a big goal of ours in the next 1 or 2 years.
What's the sort of permanency of installation? Do you think that people would install this throughout the season, or is it only you suspect this is just from a holiday season?
I think there is an opportunity for that because you can change the bulb. It doesn't just have to be a Christmas light bulb. As long as it has that C9 thread, you can change the bulb. I think it has an opportunity to be a landscaping product as well. I think that just comes with market trends.
Now it's only for installation in the ground. So like, what if you're wrapping trees or bushes?
Specifically, this product is just for the ground due to the stake. But it's still your traditional bulbs you see on your roof, so they'll match.
Could you just quickly touch again on the IP, just so I understand exactly where the...
Yeah, so we were granted at first allowance of a U.S. utility patent for the stake light. We do have a design patent pending right now. But the utility patent is a way that the 2 tabs on the stake light go into the socket. So it's the way that socket is pressed onto the stake in the manufacturer. And we were the first of its kind on the market to actually do that.
And what's the benefit of doing that?
That requires it's all on the consumer. You don't have to do any customer assembly whatsoever. So what you're looking at on this box right here is what you get out. You simply pull it out and you're ready to go to place it in the ground. Instead of going to store to buy your bulbs, and you have to go buy your stakes, go home and assemble it, and you don't know how to do it, it's frustrating, it takes a lot of time.
You gotten any feedback on the 34 you sold so far?
Yes, Ace Hardware loved them. They gave us, we're actually changing the box design for this year. One of our feedback was the 25 feet wasn't on the front, so we got lots of consumers asking how long it was. So it's going to be on the front now. We had a QR code on the back to show you how to actually install the lights. And he loved the product. Everything sold out at Ace, so he renewed the order this year, and he plans on doubling it.
Did you get any consumer reviews?
Not online, but I did have, there's 2 people that bought the product, or Oklahoma alumni, and they called me and they said they loved the product.
Who do you imagine your beachhead consumer is? Like you talked about the bigger market, but who do you think the first people are who are going to buy it? Who needs you the most? Said differently.
Based off my experience, my experience as an installer, is I deal with a lot of wives and moms right now. So I think they're the ones that are going to buy the product from the store.
Got it. Great.
All right, awesome.
Super.
Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you guys very much.
Hi guys! I'm Trippi.
I'm Tina.
I'm Nancy. And we're Team Matcha Lux.
What excites you most about this project?
Matcha!
Hi guys, I'm Christina. I'm Nancy, and we are Matcha Lux. Let's get the microphone first so people can hear us. Could be even better. Could be better. And imagine this is the amount of tools you have to use to make a cup of matcha. And 15 minutes you don't have. So you skip it. And this is happening across kitchens in America every single morning. What we found is that matcha is simple to love, but impossible to make. To understand this problem deeper, we looked into 38 matcha lovers and interviewed them. We watched their kitchen space, looked into how they make matcha, and listened to their frustrations. And the demand is real. According to our survey, over 40% of people said that they prefer matcha over coffee, not just because of the taste, but because of the health benefits. And wanting to drink matcha and making a cup of matcha are two very different things. People tell us that they would like to make matcha 5 to 6 times a week. In reality, they're only making it once or twice a week. Just because of what Alex told us, that it's more of a Saturday morning thing, I don't have time on weekdays. So they outsource their needs to cafes at $7 a cup. They don't really love the price. And what they also don't like is the inconsistent output of their matcha when they're making it, the complicated process, and the time demand. In fact, over 64% of people tell us that they give up trying to make matcha at home. So, based on our user insights, we created Matcha Lux, as you can see in our initial CAD rendering and our prototype right here, that delivers perfect matcha your way every time.
Our user insights not only informs what exactly the problem is, if you could click to the next slide, Nancy, thank you. Our user insights not only informs what the problem is, but gives us the framework for solving it, making sure that we don't miss a pain point that the consumer has expressed. Starting with the anti-oxidization chamber, this is an in-machine storage solution that preserves matcha from tin to cup. The precision dosing and sifting mechanism work together to dispense 4 grams of matcha per 40 milliliters of water, ensuring consistent output every time. The dual-axis and laminated whisk whisks the matcha on horizontal and vertical planes, ensuring you get the frothy matcha that you love while maintaining the cultural integrity of the matcha making process. Next slide, please. We are currently a $3.67 billion market being held back by a 15-minute problem. Globally, consumers are constantly spending money at cafes because there's no in-home solution. Matcha Lux is looking to poach this market from the bottom up, starting with selling 2,000 units at $299 in year 1. We did the research, and we have the answers. Our consumers fall into 3 key categories: consumers who make matcha at home and love it, those who love it and only buy it in cafes, and those who've given up on the process altogether. What we've learned is that there's no perfect solution. Making it from scratch is such a tedious process that people often outsource it to cafes, spending upwards of $1,800 per year. That's rent. When you could be saving $945 with an in-home solution. Our competitor Kuzin's prices at $299, but according to reviews, they're locked with proprietary leaves, lack a sifting mechanism, and the grinding mechanism fails, something we opted not to include within our machine, given our market research did not validate its need. So, The problem has never been with matcha. In fact, the problem is actually with the process itself. All over, what we've noticed is that we've lost the joy of making matcha. Matcha Lux isn't just about bringing you better matcha in a faster and more consistent way, but we're also giving you back the joy of matcha making in every cup. Whether you're a newbie or a seasoned pro, Matcha Lux is the machine for you, giving you perfect matcha any way you like it in just one touch. After all, don't you want your morning fix? Matcha Lux, perfect matcha your way every time. Thank you.
Wow. I mean, this seems like a ninja. That's amazing. So, first of all, what I love is it's something the consumer is doing outside of the home that they're not doing inside of the home.
Yes.
You know, I mean, very much like what we did with the creamy or the slushy by bringing that in the home, which is great. So, can you talk a little bit about the technology behind it? Is there IP? The dispensing? How do you go about doing all of that?
Yes. So, our mechanical engineer can give you a technical overview, but I'm going to give you a high-flow overview right now. The mechanics of the machine is this. We're building a machine that dispenses matcha, producing accurate ratios. The precision dosing, its goal is to prevent people from guessing. A lot of people right now, given our user research, continue just to say a little bit of this and a little bit of that, which gives them a little bit of, I don't like this product anymore. What we're trying to fix with that is a mechanic that anticipates your needs before you already know what they are. So the precision dosing system works with a sifting mechanism to ensure that when you're producing the matcha output, there's no clumps and it's consistent output each time. The anti-oxidization chamber is going to preserve the matcha itself within the machine. What we found in our research is that a lot of people improperly store their matcha in home. Matcha has a high rate of oxidization, meaning that when it's exposed to oxygen, it loses its freshness, which then impacts taste. So we've integrated all of these aspects into the machine, as well as sensors and a laminated dual-axis switch, which improves frothing consistency, unlike our competitor Kuzin, which only has a rotating wheel at the bottom, allowing you to have that frothy matcha that you love simpler.
It's awesome. I've got so many questions.
I love it.
On this one. Yeah, I can't tell you. Do you have a proof of concept? Do you have a working prototype?
We don't. Before the competition, we started out as just an idea. Right now, we've done a CAD rendering, and we have this 3D modeling prototype, which I can hand off to you guys to kind of touch and experience if you want. I'll give it to you. You're the design guy. Yeah. And right now, post-competition, what we're looking to do is go into the P phase. So we're looking to really experiment with taking machines down, looking at what are the mechanics of them, flushing out our prototypes so we can get something working. In 8 weeks, we're quite proud of what we've accomplished, but we're just getting started.
Awesome. Why do you think no one's done it to date? I mean, now given that matcha is such a big market, and obviously there's a lot of existing home technologies for hot beverages, why do you think no one's done this?
People have done it, and in Japan is more of a dominant and mature market, but in the US, it's quite a rising market. It's more prevalent among younger populations, and don't know if you guys drink matcha, but people in the younger crowds might. But our competitor Kuzin is the only competitor in the US. However, our privilege is that we have 2 members who are human factors major on the team, and we really focus on what the users really want. And we interview users by listening to the gaps and watching how they make it to streamline the process instead of assuming what they want.
Also adding on to that, it's like the vacuum that SharkNinja started initially. People have become content with a problem that they don't really have to have. In the same way with the matcha system, people are struggling with the matcha process, but they think that this is the way it's always supposed to be. It's not. You could, just like you could streamline coffee, you can streamline matcha, and we're going to be the first ones to do it.
How long will it take you to make a cup of matcha?
On average, we're looking at 15 minutes. And that's not including cleanup time, nor boiling point time.
How big a drink is that?
So a matcha, how you make a matcha essentially is you need the matcha shot, which is an output of 4 grams of matcha and 40 milliliters of water, precisely boiled between 70 to 80 degrees Celsius.
Halfway through the bowl.
So halfway through the bowl. And then what you need on top of that is some type of addition. So whether you want your milk, whether you want your lemonade, whether you want your cocktail, your baking, etc., you have to either heat your milk and do all those different things on the side. Also, the matcha making process itself is quite intensive. Matcha is quite temperamental, so you have to sift it very carefully, measure things out, whisk it in certain directions to prevent clumpiness altogether. So the process is very tedious.
Got it. Do you believe the system will dispense the shot, or is it going to add the milk? Is it going to add everything else?
Right now, our system is going to dispense the shot. In later adaptations, we're looking to implementing a frother because we believe that matcha without milk is not a common market right now. So we're going to implement a frother and expand the ecosystem even further with accessories. Again, like I said, we had planned to have a grinder, but after market validation, we understood that that's not something that a lot of people need in order to feel satisfied with matcha product. So the grinder would be an add-on for the peak ritualist.
And you think your customer segment will be the younger generation, or is that where you spent most of your time in the interviews?
We actually spent, do you want to take that?
Yeah, we spent interviews across younger adults who are working into kind of mid-age, 40 to 50 years old, but we do see that, and according to our secondary market research, that it is a much younger market than coffee.
My mom's a super fan, so if you want to interview a older
customer, that's a rare
find. We'll talk. She takes a lot of time making her matcha.
My mom's excited. She said, "When can I put this on my countertops?" I said, "Okay."
Great.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Campbell.
I'm Khalil.
I'm Joanna.
I'm Dominic.
And along with our teammate Amaya, we are women. And we are so excited to be finalists for the SharkNinja Innovation Challenge.
I am so excited!
Man, I feel fantastic.
Hi everyone, we are Woven. I'm Campbell.
And I'm Khalil.
And we are building the first automated braiding tool specifically geared for textured hair. So this is little me, looking all cute with my nice new braids. You know, I loved my hairstyles growing up as a kid, but I oftentimes dreaded the process. And I mean, who wouldn't? 7 to 10 hours spent in my babysitter's chair, $200 to $600 spent for a 2-month style. And doing the math, that's $2,000 for a year. That's 40 hours. That's a work week. And that's a shame, considering that Black women are the #1 consumers in the hair care industry, spending $2.5 billion annually and 9 times more on hair products than any other group. I thought this was just a me problem, but really and truly, there's a common thread. Millions of people with textured hair love this tradition, but face this tax. So why is it that our traditions and our styles take the longest and hurt the most?
But now, introducing our solution to infuse technology into tradition, the patent-pending woven braider. With the planned retail price of $225 and a profit margin of $190, we're taking the long and painful process of braiding and turning it into a fast and easy experience.
So the braider works in 4 easy steps. One, you have your hair started and parted 1 to 2 inches down with feed-in hair as necessary. Two, you take the woven loop and you actually loop your strands through the 3 J tubes. Third, you adjust the tension and you spin the dial so that the braider actually can begin to braid. And fourth, you keep braiding all the way to the end, seal as desired, and you repeat for a cute and easy do.
We intentionally kept it low complexity. First, we're offering fully manual design with user control. Second, user-tuned tension through the curved J-tubes. And third, tangle-free, zero-contact strand paths.
These aren't just features, they're pain points directly from our consumers that we have tested from our countless interviews, tabling sessions, and community woven events. But why now? Well, first of all, the market is ready financially, but there's no device currently on the market. Tech is catching up secondly, and the category is primed, and woven is perfectly placed to enter now. Third, the race has already started. HaloBraid and Braidient have already validated their markets, but they're looking for professionals, not the at-home braider.
Now looking to our progress. We've broken it up into 2 tracks for you, one focused on community and the other on product development. Now for community, we've conducted dozens of additional validation interviews with our target consumer, done a cultural-centric rebranding to lean more heavily into our target market, refined our business model with our Mass Challenge mentor Franklin, and finally conducted a focus group called Hairapy, which combined hair and therapy.
On the product development side, we've onboarded our new engineer Sandra, we've done countless iteration and research with our mentor Win, we've created a provisional utility patent with our attorneys John and Sabrina, and we've created a SolidWorks animation and a 3D prototype. So looking at our target consumer, meet Cameron. She's a woman in her 20s to 40s who loves her protective hair care styles. She's living in Atlanta, DC, Chicago, AKA the Black Hubs of Excellence. She's following natural hair tips on Instagram and entrepreneurship and protective styling on TikTok. She's spending $1,000 to $2,000 on her hair care, so yes, she loves it, but she's over the all-day routine. While she's our beachhead, we hope and plan to tackle parents, people with disabilities, and anybody with braids in the future.
And now look into our market. Year 1, we plan on capturing $6.2 million worth, and this is just through direct channels alone. For our service adjustable market, we're tapping into $2.5 billion, and that's 11 million people we've identified. And for our total addressable market, we're looking at $5.7 billion for the protective styling market. That's 25 million Black women in the US.
As for our competitors, we have our direct competitors as Braidient and HaloBraid, who again are not on the market, but they're looking at pros, not the millions of at-home braiders that are dominating the market. Second, we have competitor patents that, yes, they're ideas, but again, not on the market. And finally, we have general hair care brands like Dyson that aren't looking in the way of braiding. The woven braider is a revolutionary tool that is going to change the industry upside down and fill the gap.
And now look into our use of funds. We've broken our resource allocation into 4 categories. First is build. This includes prototype improvements and mechanism adjustments. Second is to validate. This is through compensated in-person user testing. Third is to launch our social media presence in our Kickstarter campaign. And fourth is to track competitor products and what tools braiders are using and why.
We are a team of 5 from USC's Ivan Young Academy with experience spanning over 100 different startups and businesses. More importantly, we each have our own unique stories with our hair. We are the perfect team, primed to infuse technology into tradition so that not only little me, but we can celebrate our styles with a helping hand. Thank you.
So clearly there's a real consumer need. So you've got a lot of specificity. I mean, you talked about your COGS being $20 to $50. Your retail price you want to be about $200. So you already have a patent, a provisional patent that you filed. Is there a working prototype? Have you used it on consumers? Any feedback that consumers have in terms of the use and the interaction?
Absolutely. So the prototype here, I don't know if you guys want me to show it to you guys. Yeah. Okay. So the prototype that we have here is our proof of concept testing rig. It's a 4-to-1. It's a 4-to-1 size in terms just for like showcasing, and you can actually move the prototype for the gearing.
This is actually scaled up for demonstration purposes.
You intend this will be with a partner, or individuals can do it on their own?
Individuals can do it on their own. In the future, we're looking, with obviously funding to test our R&D so that you can actually have a spinning wheel, kind of like a fidget spinner if you think about it, where you can move it like with your own hands while holding the other handle and spin it all the way down to the end.
So the intellectual property you've got is on the mechanism, the way the wheels work and how the hair entrains. Is that the unique component?
Yeah, so in terms of our utility patent, we actually are using a horn gear mechanism within this space, but the unique aspect of it is that the tubes actually go all the way through rather than having thread that spins on a bobbin. That would be really, really hard for your hair to spin through a bobbin. So it's actually going through the J tubes that are actually purposely curved at the ends so that your hair doesn't get tangled at the bottom, but rather spins outward as you're braiding it down.
And how is it driven?
It's driven through this ring gear actually here. So if you look,
Will you have to turn it by hand, or is there a battery, or?
You can turn it by hand. Right now, we actually are going to have it spin so that you can spin it by hand, so that the user has full control.
So how would you do it? Just explain it to me. Like with one hand you're holding it, and
one
the other
hand
hand
I'm holding it, and one hand I'm spinning it like
so
a fidget spinner almost. Yes.
So how big roughly did you say it would be?
Right now, this is a 4:1 scale, so it would be handheld.
Be like that.
A lot
be
smaller.
Like that
yes,
size.
absolutely.
Got it.
And what skill do you need as a user to be able to do this?
The only skills that it requires you to have are you have to have a comb to be able to part your hair. You gotta braid it just a little bit, and then it does the rest of it for you.
But do you have to walk into it with like an idea of what you want to do? Like, how is the consumer gonna think about planning their head?
In some sense, definitely, for sure. And I would say the average user would know generally what they're looking for.
Yeah.
Mainly because, like myself, I've done my hair at home. It's not an extremely hard and challenging task, but it's more so arduous because of the time it takes for me to finish the braids all the way down. Yes, I can part my hair at home. I can look that up on YouTube. That's fine. It's about the time that it takes for me to do it. You know, spending 6 to 10 hours maybe at a salon, but maybe even days going on and off, getting my lunch and doing my things while I'm braiding my hair, when I could just do it like this and have it for so much more time and be able to still honor that tradition and do my hair the way I want to.
How long would it take?
With this product?
Yeah.
Well, typically, I would say the most of the time is spent on that automated part that we're trying to automate. I would say we're trying to take the time away from 10 hours to 2. That's our goal.
2 hours.
And you had flagged a competitor product, and I saw on this slide the focus they have is on pros, not consumers. Can you speak a little bit more about how that factors into the design and how you're thinking it will be used?
Absolutely. So I think a little bit more into our the professional side of things. We did an event called the Therapy event, where we had target users come in and actually talk about the product, and we asked them, and amongst others that we've interviewed, and I would say only 2 of them have stated that they go to a salon regularly to get their hair done. Mainly because it's extremely expensive and it's just out of reach, especially when there are people who are at-home braiders, like my line sisters, my friends, who actually did my hair for today, right? And I don't go to a major salon. I'm going to somebody at home. I'm going to my friend who's doing it at home. And so those are the main people that are braiding within this community and can use a product like this that is completely analog and a little bit less expensive, but is extremely accessible for them to be able to finish the hair at a quicker rate.
What was the thing that surprised you the most from your therapy sessions?
Go ahead.
Yeah, so I think one of the biggest things that surprised us was the fact that people hadn't fully thought about the concept of a machine doing their braids, even though using electric devices or any device for your hair is very commonplace in every household. That surprised us because the tradition itself is done by hand, but that's primarily because no one's really tried to do it in a way that was acceptable or comfortable with the average user. That's one of our biggest strengths, is the fact that we're not targeting someone that's a professional. We're targeting the at-home, the daily person, someone that is more casually, more, quickly looking to do their hair instead of like the whole process, like drawing out.
Got it. All right.
Excellent.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Shreya. And I'm Malia, and we're students at MIT. Along with Valeria, we're co-founders of NAMI Cadence. We're so excited to be a part of this program with SharkNinja and Mass Challenge from can't wait to get started.
So let's talk about your water bottle. When was the last time you cleaned it? You know those little black spots? The ones you see on your spout right before you're about to take a sip? Well, those black spots, they're not dirt. They're mold, often accompanied by bacteria and biofilm that you can't see. And surprise, surprise, it can get you sick. Which is why health experts agree you should be cleaning your bottle daily. But I get it. Daily feels unachievable because every solution falls short. Hand washing is a pain and takes forever, and your bottle might not go in a dishwasher. So we asked a simple question. What if cleaning were as easy as filling? At NAMI, we're building cleaning infrastructure for the reusable economy. We're developing an automatic cleaning station for reusable bottles and drinkware, and we're starting in the office kitchen. Suppose I made an iced coffee in my tumbler before I left the house. Now, at work, I want to fill my tumbler up with water, but I don't want it to taste like coffee. Rather than use the dirty office sponge or a disposable cup, I approach NAMI, conveniently located next to the Ninja Luxe Cafe. I open the door, which flips up and pushes back into the system, avoiding the upper cabinets and other countertop items. I unscrew my lid and place it into the lid holder, indicated by the white LED backlight. I flip my tumbler upside down and push it into the bottle holder, which centers it over the nozzle. I now close the door, select bottle and lid, telling the system to clean both components, and press start. In under 30 seconds, NAMI delivers a hot, soapy, pressurized wash, targeting the hard-to-reach areas such as the inside of the vessel, the threads, and the spout where I drink from. NAMI saved me the time and hassle of washing my own tumbler. NAMI gave me an overall enjoyable experience, much like a car wash, and it delivered a thorough clean. NAMI cleans not only reusable tumblers, but reusable water bottles, mugs, and other drinkware, including their lids and straws. NAMI connects to existing water and drain lines used by beverage dispensers, making it easy to install. We've already built and tested a prototype with over 100 unique users. And initial testing of our patent-pending technology shows that our targeted clean is exactly what users are looking for. And it does so all while using less than half the water of hand washing and being at safe temperatures for your favorite drinkware. We've spoken with over 90 potential customers across a range of markets, and we've identified incubator and co-working spaces as our ideal beachhead. For these spaces, NAMI provides value by decreasing single-use waste, encouraging reusables, and overall being a visible commitment to employee health and wellness. Offices will pay a monthly fee, which includes equipment leasing, preventative maintenance, and replacement of a cleaning solution. This model is typical for other amenities provided in the space. We are excited to be launching our first paid pilot this summer in partnership with a co-working location in Boston. Following our paid pilots, we'll be launching into offices as a whole, first through direct sales and then through working with service providers. We'll use that momentum to develop a freestanding unit, enabling you to see NAMI in every gym, every university, every airport, and more. In the US alone, we estimate around 5 million public and semi-public beverage nodes, defined as bottle filling stations and plumbed water dispensers. Assuming cleaning is co-located with filling, this represents a $10 billion annual market opportunity in cleaning infrastructure. My name is Shreya, and along with Malia and Valeria, we are a team of MIT engineers who have built and raced cars, designed robots, and shipped commercially manufactured products. And now we're building NAMI. We started NAMI 2 years ago, embarrassed by our dirty water bottles. Today, hundreds of conversations later, we know that we are not alone. We are immensely grateful to Mass Challenge and SharkNinja. This program has brought us one step closer in building a future where everyone can clean right before they fill. And remember, a wash a day keeps the mold away. Thank you.
Impressive. They're very impressive. Can we be location number 2 in Boston to have one of these?
We've got a waitlist building.
Okay. This is great. First of all, I love the statement in the beginning, what if? Like that's something that we always start off with. I mean, what if? Would it be amazing? And you framed it up as, cleaning as easy as filling. I mean, that is such an aspirational thing for consumers to strive for. How hot does the water get?
Yeah, so right now we're targeting 120 degrees, which stays underneath the temperature level that's safe for your bottles that may not go in the dishwasher. As far as sanitation, we're implementing other strategies that would help sanitize the water bottles.
Is there UV?
Plans to implement UV, not at the moment.
Got it.
You had said soap, and so is there a soap dispenser, at least in the first iteration, or?
Yeah, so we use detergent.
Okay.
We insert it through like a peristaltic pump within the plumbing system, and then we're sure to rinse that out with the second half of our wash, which is targeting those same areas that we were doing during the detergent part of the wash.
That's great. Yeah, you answered the question I was going to ask about the dishwasher. So versus using a dishwasher, this is temperature controlled, so you can throw any bottle at it. Is that the idea?
Yeah, as well as making sure we target those hard to reach places. I'm thinking of my particular water bottle lid that has all these different components and pieces, and so one of the things we think about when designing the lid portion is that we're spraying from the top, from the sides, from below. We're able to handle all those different lid geometries as well.
I was going to say, how do you deal with, like, I've got a junior high school and it comes home with a new bottle every single day. I don't know. I didn't give them.
We got 2
I didn't give
while
them
we were
but
there.
it brings them home. I've got like a closet full of these things, and the size varies hugely.
Yep.
So how do you deal with that?
Yeah, so we're able to accommodate bottles in diameter of 1.5 to 5 inches, as well as up to heights of 12 inches, which encompasses the vast majority of the bottles that we see on the market that we've done the research on. And like I was saying earlier, the way we deal with lids takes a little bit more of an all-inclusive approach, and so we're able to deal with those different geometries.
So plumbed in is a challenge. Like the consumer's going to have to plumb this in. Is that your thought?
Yeah, so we use a similar plumbing infrastructure to things like your sparkling water dispenser, which we saw in your office the other day. And so by having things in the office space, all the plumbing is in front of the wall with the sink there. And so we look to reduce that infrastructure barrier through utilizing the existing.
How much water do you think is needed for one cycle?
Yeah, we're looking at less than half a gallon of water, which is well under half of the amount that it takes to hand wash water bottles.
Who manages the soap? What happens when the soap runs out at these co-working spaces?
Yeah, so currently many co-working spaces and offices in general work with service providers who service all of the coffee machines or individual machines themselves. So initially we're looking at building out that team ourselves, first doing it ourselves for pilots, then for direct sales, building out a technician team. Eventually we would sell to service providers who are then responsible for replacing soap and doing that preventative maintenance.
How would you deal with the gross factor here? Like somebody filled a cup up with spaghetti bolognese and they stick it in the machine.
Yeah, absolutely. These are the things we have to think about. So we're implementing a self-cleaning cycle. So think run the machine with no bottles in it, as well as additionally incorporating UV in the near future to ensure we sterilize. As far as the chunks that may be associated with your bolognese, we have a level sensor to ensure that if something does go wrong with the system, we're alerted quickly. It could be wiped down. You can remove the grate and access areas to clean it as well, which is something we've been thinking a lot about in the design.
So right now you're B2B. You'd sell it through like an Aramark or a Cintas to service it. Ideas around B2C?
Yeah, totally. I think that we start B2B because we want to reach the most number of people and have the highest impact, and I think that is reaching people where they are feeling in their public spaces outside of the home. I think once we build out this brand and once NAMI equals clean in people's minds, there is a clear path to delivering the cleaning solution at home.
Really good.
Great, yeah.
Can you say more about airports?
Yeah, so we've actually spoken to a couple of airports. I think this is a great solution and fits really nicely alongside their water filling stations. Airports have really long sales cycles, and often you need to go through a bidding process to actually get into airports. So it doesn't make sense for us to start there, but it's also a place where people are starting to carry reusables. So great ideal market, not where we want to start.
Have you thought about the user interface and how you communicate clean?
Yeah, so a lot of that is, we've been taking advice from people who have more industrial design background than us. But things like material choice has been probably the biggest prevalence of that. So internally right now we're using stainless steel, but things that are easily wipeable, research on what colors indicate the best levels of clean, trying to lean into that, as well as things like our clear door, being able to see that it's cleaning, looking to build trust with our users that we're delivering a clean as well.
Last question, how long do you think it takes to clean a cup?
We're looking at less than 30 second cycle
Less than 30 seconds. Awesome.
What would the monthly lease be?
We're estimating around $250, which is in the range of other services provided in the space.
How long do you think the product will last for?
We estimate a lifespan of around 5 to 7 years, but we'd have to see.
That's it, I've got the hook.
Okay.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Avery Neal. I'm a student at UT Austin and the founder of Front Row. When I found out that Front Row was a finalist for the SharkNinja Innovation Challenge, I was so excited. Okay, our hard work paid off, like they believe in us, and I just feel super grateful.
All right, thank you. All right, can everyone here do me a favor and try to read this? It's pretty impossible, right? Well, this is what I experience every time I enter a classroom as a visually impaired student. I can think of multiple times within the past semester where I've been on the verge of tears because I didn't know if the classroom I was about to enter would be working with or against me. And it's why visually impaired students have a graduation rate of 15%. But this expands to all students because we know that 60% of all students struggle to see chalkboard notes. And their current solutions are only peer and institution-based resources like peer note takers or recorded lectures, note-taking apps, and manual workarounds like sitting in the front row or taking a photo with your phone. But none of these solve the problem of real-time accessibility. They're either after the fact, don't address accessibility at all, or can be really draining for the user. So that's when I decided there needed to be a solution. So I created Front Row, which is an assistive technology that solves note-taking struggles, making every presentation accessible and empowering every student. So it works like this by allowing one student to have their phone facing where the professor is referencing, and then from there, any student can have it streamed onto their device where they can personalize the playback, zoom in further, and save notes into their own. They can also use our PTZ software to automatically zoom into the region the professor is referencing, supplementing the process of having to pull out your phone and zoom in. Then we also have a chatbot if the student needs a quick refresher. Now, for market opportunity, we've interviewed over 30 customers and found that most are using technology in the classroom, 60% struggle to see the board, and 84% say that they feel like they're wasting time by copying the professor notes. And although these statistics are important, it's really impactful to see what they're saying. For example, Divya, a neuroscience freshman, said, "What's the point if you can't see notes?" And when we showed her Front Row, she said, "This is so cool, I would definitely use this." Now we know that students care, but why should universities care? Now we're hoping to sell directly B2B through these disability offices. So we've interviewed a large number of public universities reaching over 256,000 and a large number of private and community colleges reaching over 93,000. Through talking to their disability offices, we found that their biggest concern is finding technology that helps as many disabilities as possible. Front Row obviously helps visually impaired, but it also helps students who physically can't get to the front of the classrooms or students who may have a learning disability and can't always focus. Now, we also interviewed professors, and their biggest concern was engagement.
Now, through our 2 pilot programs at the Copenhagen Business School and UT Austin, we tested with 40 active users, and I can say I was in one of these classrooms, and there was a Kahoot, which is like an interactive quiz, and 5 of my peers were next to me, and they couldn't even see the answer choices, so they were about to start slacking off, and I said, hey, you should so use Front Row, and they started using it, and they started really engaging in the classroom, and they also got like 2nd place on the quiz, I think, so it was really awesome. This was our delighter, but our detractor from this experience is that we saw that there was some workflow friction, that the design wasn't as favorable to these students, so we used this engineering sprint to focus on our design. Now, for our market size, we first hoped to reach students with note-taking accommodations, which is a $163.8 million market, then all disabled students, which is a $273 million market, and finally all undergraduate students, which is a $1.3 billion market. Now, learning doesn't stop in the classroom. It happens every time you try something new, whether that's applying makeup for the first time or simply setting up a new coffee machine. These are all things that if you have a poor learning experience when you're setting it up, then you're less likely to use it in the future. So if we can increase universal design and these very visual experiences, we can empower these individuals. Now, for our timeline, so far we've just finished our first engineering sprint and are starting our 2nd pilot program within the next month, focusing on users and consumers, and then adjusting our engineering side from there, repeating this process to make sure that we're really adapting with the user needs. Now, with Front Row, we hope to have an impact on everyday life, but what we really hope is to increase graduation rates by 12%, thus increasing income by $30,000, because we want to make sure that no learner feels the way they do now. Front Row, bringing the board to you. Thank you.
Wow, I mean, that's real, not just, you know, that's positively impacting people's lives. I mean, that's really a noble purpose. Amazing. Is it being recorded, and can you play it back afterward?
So we don't record just because we don't want to we're not trying to replace Zoom in any way or lecture capturing. What we're really trying to do is maximize the in-class experience. And I think that right now dealing with that data is a little more difficult when we just want to create the most advanced product with the zooming capabilities. So.
It's absolutely fascinating. For somebody that did advanced thermodynamics at university, and I could see the board but didn't really understand half of the things that were there, to be able to, it's almost like an augmented view into the board and what's been said. Is it an app? Is it something on a phone? What is the tool itself?
Yeah. So right now we're a web app. So it's supplementing a lot of students will use Google Docs. So we're trying to supplement that process right now. We're working on an app development next because a lot of students use iPad notes. But we just wanted to focus on the app development because that was just the web app development because that was the fastest that we could get out.
I guess it needs access to a camera.
Sorry, what?
It needs access to a camera.
Yeah, so what we rely on is one student in the class to be that camera. We're kind of pulling away from, right now there's a peer note taker assigned in a classroom, and we want to take away from a peer note taker because those are after the fact, and we want to assign instead a student camera basically, where they just have their phone propped up against, I propped it up against my backpack, I've used a tripod, I can really you can use anything. So yeah, that's what we're trying to do so far.
And then do you talk me through so that you're able to see the streaming on the web app? Do you save down the notes or copy them over to Google Docs?
So what the student's actively taking notes alongside the zoomed in version. So our value prop is the zoomed in effect. So we're getting rid of the process to pull out your phone and zoom in and take a photo. The students still have to take their notes on their own. I think in the future, transcribing is something that is definitely beneficial, especially in an accessibility space. But right now, it is saved on our platform and we store their notes. So we're kind of taking away from the apps they may use now, like GoodNotes or even Google Docs. We want to be that new platform for accessibility in any sort of learning space.
Do you think there's an AI component that could be added to that to support what you're seeing as a student? Could AI help to summarize and consolidate?
So the computer vision does use that uses an aspect. I mean, the summarization and there is a quick button where you could have a question as you type. Let's say I'm typing about the mitochondria, then we'll have a question that can pop up. You can turn this feature off, but it can pop up and say oh, do you need a quick definition on what the mitochondria is? We do that, but then also that is something that we've looked into about seeing where students are taking the most notes on and seeing, okay, like maybe I'm in a class on like, I'm trying to think like chemistry, and I'm really like confused on this one topic and everyone else is in my class, then we can anonymize that data and send it to the professor and say, hey, a lot of students are confused on this topic. They put it like a question mark near their notes, or they like stop taking notes at this point, then like you should probably go over that, and then it increases the value of what the professor is teaching, because I will say every professor thinks they're the best professor, but yeah, they don't have any data behind that, so I'm hoping that this can give some data behind that.
Did you actually talk to professors?
Yes, yeah,
In your pilot, what did they say?
Yeah, so we interviewed around, I would say like, I think around 40 over this past semester, and we found that like, they all care about engagement. None of them are willing to put in the work to get engagement though, because that's too time consuming for them, and they're already so busy, unfortunately. They like have busy schedules and they want students to show up to their classrooms, but it's really hard to get students in their classrooms, and they're not really like, every professor wants to implement AI in some way, but they don't know the tool to use. They don't know how to they don't want a tool that they're going to have to spend too much time setting up, which is why we rely on the student to set up. Yeah. So really, engagement is the one thing that they all said, and other than that, it was just like, I don't really know what to do other than that. So, which is unfortunate, but.
So you laid out your sprint timing.
Yes.
And they were kind of longer chunk periods. I mean, so much of this is kind of just the user interface. Like, could you speed that up much faster? Could you kind of iterate the sprints much quicker and get more user feedback?
I would love to. I think it's definitely hard as students. I mean, like that is the goal, I think, like to get feedback, and I think this last process was longer because it was just our first sprint, so I think that like I kind of made that assumption that it would be longer, but I think in the future we'd hope that these are going to be much shorter sprints, because it's not like we're starting from scratch. We're just doing like a few design updates here and there, or like we're just we're just interviewing this professor or this disability office, so I'm hoping that like it will get shorter, and I do think it will. I just like wanted to be cautious. But yeah, I definitely think that it should get shorter from this next one. So.
And do all students have to have their own account, or the school will offer accounts?
Yeah, our students can log in with their own account, but we're selling to disability offices because we don't want students to have to pay when disability offices have to have note-taking accommodations for accessibility, and they're already spending like $50 for peer note taker per class, which is like all the students I've interviewed don't use peer note takers because it's all after the fact and no one wants to look at someone else's notes. Yep. So yeah, that is our goal, to sell to the universities who will pay for these student accounts.
Great. That's it. That's 10 minutes. Thank you so much.
Hi, I'm Tarini.
And I'm Kar.
Today, we propose value.
We never expected, I think, getting to this stage of competition.
We're so grateful for this opportunity, and we can't wait for what comes next with SharkNinja.
Picture this. You're rushing out the door in the morning when suddenly your boss pings you. Urgent, I can't make it into the office. You have to cover the meeting with the CEO. Instant panic rises when you look down at that wrinkled shirt. There's no time for a traditional ironer, and there's no time for a steam iron, and there's 100% no time to show up looking unprepared. Hi, my name is Tarini.
And I'm Parth.
Today, we're introducing Vayu, the perfect mashup of a steamer and an iron that lets you walk in wrinkled, step out polished, always.
Believe it or not, this is exactly something that I went through during my summer internship last year, where I was asked to sit in on a last-minute client meeting. I panicked. When I spoke to my friends about it later, I realized not only did they share the same problem, the only solution we had right now was a steamer, but that had its own issues. I always needed a hard backing surface to get rid of those tough wrinkles, had to hang my shirt and pull it down to get rid of the wrinkles, ended up with water stains on some corners, and also was never able to control for the type of fabric I was using.
So we dug into the problem a little bit further and identified the following. First, there's a clear gap in the market for a solution that delivers the promise of confidence in genuine seconds. Second, the market size is huge and worth capitalizing on. Global garment steamer market is projected to reach $4.5 billion by 2030. Also, competitor revenue has quadrupled in just 2 years. Third, we've locked in our target audience of young professionals who want that 2-minute solution.
And now, introducing Vayu. Designed for busy young professionals, Vayu is an iron plus steamer designed to meet fast polish touch-ups. Its hair straightener inspired form factor and fabric specific heat and steam settings make sure you always walk in wrinkled and step out polished.
When we first entered this space, we realized that existing products validate the demand, but none yet provide a full solution. Vayu wins because instead of giving yet another partial solution, we're giving the complete holistic experience that truly lets you achieve that 5-star benchmark.
Now, let's consider a scenario where our target consumer, Annie, wakes up late on the morning of her job interview.
She quickly puts on her clothes, glances in the mirror one last time, and then sees those dreaded wrinkles.
There are 2 ways that this morning could now go.
Either with the competitor product or with Vayu.
With the competitor product, Annie lays her outfit out, plugs the product in, but has to wait for an entire minute just for it to heat up.
With Vayu, Annie is already starting the garment care process in just 27 seconds. This reduces the time crunch already.
With the competitor product now turned on, Annie is fighting the product rather than the wrinkles. She's constantly battling the uncentered water reservoir that makes every rotation and clamp just feel awkward.
With Vayu, the centered water reservoir ensures the process is so seamless because every pass feels easy, balanced, and as controlled as possible.
Annie is now constantly stopping to switch between the ironing and steaming modes, which only adds to her time. Also, she's worried that the constant steam output is going to run out of the water before she's even done with her outfit.
The on-demand bursts of steam in Vayu ensure that Annie never has to switch between modes and has an entire water reservoir to complete her full outfit.
To top it all off, Annie is constantly second-guessing herself because she's scared the heat and steam are going to burn her outfit.
And the cherry on top of the cake, Vayu has fabric-specific heat and steam settings that gives Annie so much confidence she can breeze through the entire garment care routine and ace that job interview.
That is why Vayu wins. We've designed to make sure that every decision is conscious because we know details make the difference. To make sure that all user complaints were addressed, we gave our competitor products to 20 of our core users and observed them use it. We also surveyed 1,000 plus user reviews across Amazon, Target, and competitor websites. We identified 30% of users complained about the water capacity, which is what we solve using our aluminium flash boiling tube, microdiaphragm pump, and steam button, and also what we validated using a physical prototype. We also noticed 15 to 25% of users complained about wrist pains when they use the product, which our centered water reservoir solves. The lack of fabric selection is taken care of through the fabric selection dial, and our magnetic locking clasp solves the problem of the locking mechanism that 8% of users complained about.
Right now, we're targeting young professionals, but in the future, we want to expand to anybody who doesn't have that luxury of time and space. This includes students, travelers, small space households, even elderly people. Also, Vayu as a product does not stop here. We're looking at introducing telescopic handles for increased portability to better meet travel needs.
So in short, Vayu is not a revolution, but it is an evolution. Thank you.
This is great. This is the only category that SharkNinja has ever gotten out of, actually. But not because, but there's definitely a market here, and it's great the way you're approaching it. In fact, go find on YouTube a product called the Shark Press and Refresh. It was an infomercial I did in 2011. Very similar with steam. And so where's the water tank?
So the water tank would be in the center right below where the hinge would be. So that makes it's not right at the bottom where the cord is, but it's also not on the handles of the product. It's right below where the users hold it.
How large of a water tank?
Currently, we're planning about 100 ml, which is also what our competitors have in the market right now.
And so is it continuous steam or it's steam burst?
It's bursts of steam. So every time you press the steam button, you'll get a burst of steam that's calibrated to the type of fabric you're using.
Got it. And it's heated plates. And so you're clamping the heated plates.
Exactly.
Got it.
The 20, 30-second startup time, how are you achieving that?
So the way we've achieved that is we have the aluminium flash boiling tube through which we've inserted like cartridge heaters. So it's just like an aluminium block that acts as a thermal mass and holds the heat. We heat up the aluminium block and run a copper pipe through it. So every time you pump a small amount of water through that, it passes through the copper pipe, absorbs the energy, the heat energy, and just vaporizes the steam. That's how we're using the steam, and it's because we're not boiling the entire water in the tank and just heating up that small amount of water that lets us achieve that fast heat up time.
A big part of this is the ergonomics and the sort of usability of something like this, because there's lots of different cloth types, and as you say, to clamp it. How did you go through that process, and what was your sort of prototyping journey to get to where you are now?
So our initial design was actually a clip-on handle that goes onto a traditional steam iron and then extends to provide a sort of backing for the clothes that you're creating. But when we showed it to the users, they said that it's as bulky as a traditional steam iron. It's not solving any problem except providing a hard backing. So then we pivoted, thought a little bit, looked into the market and realized that this form factor actually does work. But a lot of people are complaining about how heavy the product is or the limited water reservoir capacity. So that's what we've been trying to solve with our design.
And also just adding on to that, I think for the specific like fabric settings, we also spoke to a lot of laundromats and dry cleaning actual companies in India to collect information about how they handle the different fabric types that they experience, the amount of water that they use, the sort of irons that they use, the amount of pressure, and used all that information along with the normal settings you see on ions, etc., to come up with these settings of different temperature types. For the different amounts of steam, different fabrics have different like fabric densities and textile densities, and hence need different amounts of steam to actually loosen the fabrics enough to straighten them. That's how we came up with the fabric-specific heat and steam settings.
Are you anticipating this as a daily use, like you freshen up your clothes every morning before you go to work, or emergency, and how does that factor into how you're thinking about the price?
I think we're targeting anybody who wants that boost of confidence when they walk into a room, so they're judged by their skill, not by the way they're looking. That could include any aspect of life, whether you're going for a job interview, whether you're going into a meeting, whether you're going just for a social event. I think it depends on the use case and how you want to use it. On pricing, currently our competitors are priced between the range of $70 to $120. Since we're introducing everything they have, but also improving the features, we plan on being in the same range, but again, that will come through actually creating the physical prototype, understanding what the manufacturing process costs, and I think that'll give us a better idea of our pricing.
Are there any limitations on the garments that, like areas you can't reach with that?
So we don't think so, because the way we've designed the actual product is we're providing about 6 to 8 inches of the actual heated plates, along with about 4 to 6 inches of just space on the product. So that makes sure you can reach the center of a men's Excel shirt in one swoop. So that lets you like complete any product or any fabric that you have in just 2 swoops. Any shirt size, any pant, a dress, whatever you need can fit within the actual fabric or actual device. As for the fabric types, for now we've selected 5 different types of fabrics: cotton, wool, silk, linen, and denim. We assume that these are the most common types of fabrics, so I would say that is where we're lying right
Do you suspect that you would do this from clothes that are being hung from a hanger versus on a bed, or on a, how would you do this?
Because it's a clamping style, so the hair straightener type form factor already provides the hard backing. This means that you don't have to hang the clothes onto an iron. You can actually just do it if you put the clothes onto a bed. But again, whatever feels more comfortable for you. But we've designed it in a way that you don't need the hard backing, you don't need a hanging mechanism.
How heavy, like, do you think it need, or how light does it need to be?
So currently the products, I think about 1 lb, if I'm not 1 to 2 lbs, and that users are complaining are very heavy and bulky to use. But I think the main problem with that is the water reservoir is on the handles, as we mentioned. Since we are keeping it in the center, we're reducing the pendulum effect, which basically makes the product feel more like ergonomic and easier in your hand.
All right, thank you very much.
Oh my gosh, I was blown away by those pitches backstage. How was the view up here? Back in '09, I'm an old guy, I participated in a business plan competition, and I did all right. But I feel like if I was competing against this crew, I would have gotten absolutely torched. So congratulations. Right now, we're going to sequester the judges in a small room so they can fight over who gets the awards in a few minutes. And so you've got about 10 minutes, judges. Okay. I'm gonna encourage you to stand up and go off stage and find your way to the room with which you're going to be having that conversation, making tough choices. As they walk out, give a thanks to the judges. And so while we wait, we don't want you to be bored or wanting. And so SharkNinja has been shockingly awesome. And we've got about 12 or so products, their newest, latest products, many of which have just launched, that we're going to raffle off here today. So everyone's got a raffle ticket, right? Make sure you pull it out, you find the thing. I know SharkNinja colleagues can't. I know a couple of you are going to go to the restroom, but I'm going to get the first product out. And before I do, we're going to give you a little bit of a preview as to what you're going to be seeing in raffling today.
There's a ton of engineering and science going in the background. With the Chill Pill, we are bridging engineering into human feeling.
We want something that's durable and long-lasting. Fans exist, misting fans exist. There's not really that many cryo-type fans, and nobody does all three of them. So that was just the start of this. Hi, my name's Ryan Copeland. I'm the senior manager on the product development team working on Chill Pill.
My name is Naveed Hushainginejad. I'm the R&D manager in the home environment team. Chill Pill is the first and only 3-in-1 personal portable cooling system.
A fan that blows air as well as mist and cryo cooling.
So there are 3 attachments involved. My favorite is the InstaChill attachment.
A metal plate on it that gets really cold, down to 16 degrees Fahrenheit.
It's drawing heat from this top surface, and then you dissipate that heat. This one instantly, upon the touch on the skin, it's gonna cool you down the fastest. There's a fan attachment, super strong and quiet.
The fan cap is engineered to minimize the noise as much as possible.
This is our anechoic chamber, and we use this to test noise on our products. We want to make sure that the noise that the product is producing is really pleasant, what tones are happening, where are they happening, and how strongly are they happening.
And we have the misting pod that cools the air as it blows towards you.
So the cooling effect is the important part of it. When the drops exit from this atomizer, airflow that you feel is going to be cold and temperature drops. And there's no other cooling system out there that has all of these features in one.
Use cases for this fan are just endless.
Sport, games, concerts, people dealing with menopause, dealing with pregnancy, people who are just commuting in really crowded areas, and people who are just running hot all the time. I'm one of them.
Put it in your backpack, take it with you on a vacation, go on hikes to the beach, out camping, around town, around the house. Why not? I think there are about 8 people here that are begging for a fan right now.
I feel like I needed a chill pill this entire time due to high stress. Here we go. Our first chill pill, brand new product from Shark, and soon it's going to be someone's. Whoop. All right, we got 264-3924. Who do we got? All right, come on up. Woo! I believe you. Thank you. All right, we got our next one. It is also a chill pill. Jessica. What's up? What's up? Thank you. All right, we got 264-3893. Anybody? Woo!
Thank you. 2893. Congratulations. Thank you.
All right. We got a couple more chill pills. Thank you. This one's pink. 264-3887. Anybody? Congratulations. Come on up. Come on up. Well done. Yep. I'll slow down. All right. We got more colors. We got gray, silver. We have 264-3885. 85. Stop it. All right, congratulations. Woo. I gotta mix this up. This person bent their ticket, which is always a good way to increase the odds. Slow down. What? What? Oh, are you sure? Okay. All right. 264-3897. Anybody? All right. Are we out of chill pills? All right, chill out. We're going to get the next one going. How many of you blend things at home? Smoothies, soups, what have you? All right. We got a blend boss. My daughter, she thinks cooking is putting fruit and yogurt inside a blender. I'm going to encourage it because it is delicious. She's 6, and I think she'd like this, but I don't think I can win it. But the winner would be 264-3900. They're over there. They lose. 264-3904. Anybody? All right. 264-3895. Yes. Congratulations. Well done, my friend.
Thank you.
All right, we've got another blend boss, if I'm not incorrect. This one is blue. The color matters. Smoothie, blending, crushing, pulsing, essentially turning ice into snow for my snow cones. All right. 264-3915. Yes. That's what I'm talking about. I love giving away gifts. Thank you, SharkNinja. Congratulations. All right. I hope I'm going at a good pace so that the judges actually have time to figure this out. The final blend boss, and this is a mini one. I don't know if they were, oh no, it's not a mini one, it's full size. 1200 watts, don't put your finger in, but I don't think they even turn on if you put your finger in. 264-3917. Yes, okay, thank you. 3917, thank you, Steve. 3917, go be you. All right, now we've got a product that I first saw courtside at the Miami Heat game. You had Jimmy Butler wearing this when he was injured one day, and it kind of went viral. And I don't know who got Jimmy to wear this thing. It looks ridiculous, but I hear that it's amazing for wrinkles and facial structure. So, it's the Cryo Glow. Who's heard of the Cryo Glow? Who's seen the Cryo Glow? Who's used the Cryo Glow? Who wants a Cryo Glow? All right. This is what it looks like. It's an alien mask. But the LED infrared do wonders. Look 5 years younger, at least. 264-3890. 3890. Yes. This is delightful. Delightful.
Next time you see me younger.
Yes. Mike, I expect at least 5 years to be taken off your face the next time I see you. We've got a couple more before we're done. All right. Do we have another CryoGlow, Jessica? This is the last one. This is the end. 2643908. The game continues. 08. That's you? All right, congratulations. All right. That's amazing. Thank you. All right, we're probably going to be getting back in action in the next couple minutes. So if you need to go to the restroom, run to the restroom now. Everyone on the live stream, give us about 5 minutes, and we're going to be announcing the winners. Thank you very much. They're gonna have to do voice.
The event is about to begin. Please make your way to your seats. The event is about to begin. Please make your way to your seats. The event is about to begin. Please make your way to your seats.
All right, all right. Can I have everyone, voices down, seats filled? We are going to get this show on the road. Thank you so much. Before we bring the judges back out, by the way, their faces look pained. This was not a trivial decision that they've made. But what I wanted to do before I brought them out is recognize the community that put all of this together. So first and foremost, Susan, Molly, Francesca from SharkNinja, where are you? Congratulations. You guys showed us the vision, and you helped us at every stage of the path, and look at what we've built here. Second, Jessica Davis from Mass Challenge. Come on out, please. Come on out. She is your superhero and mine. Did an incredible job from the moment we started working together about 6 months ago all the way through here to today. Another group, to a team, when they showed up, and I spent some time hearing their pitch practices and spoke to them afterwards, they all said how much they appreciated the guidance and the mentorship that came from their SharkNinja mentors. So if you are a SharkNinja mentor that supported one of these companies, please stand up and be recognized. And finally, this doesn't happen and we aren't impressed without those incredible finalists who have came here. Either they drove here from MIT and Brown, or they flew here from Texas and Oklahoma and other places across the country to put their mettle to the test and show everyone here what entrepreneurship is all about. So give our finalists a round of applause. And the final person is this whole thing got kicked off with a friendly meeting 9 months ago in SharkNinja's office with Velia. And she said to me, you know what, there's too much energy. We need to do something to support entrepreneurship, to support the next generation, and show them how awesome this SharkNinja culture is. So give it up for Velia for kicking this whole thing off. So the next and almost final thing I'd like to do, and I'll be turning the mic over, is introducing the judges back to the stage. So can everyone give them a round of applause as they walk back in? And they might have checks. Welcome back. All right, Mark and team, the floor is yours.
Okay. As you said, I mean, this was not at all an easy decision. There was some arm wrestling up there. But look, just first off, I mean, a huge round of applause for these teams. Like, what an amazing job. I think what was hard was that each one of them had, really excelled in a certain area. I mean, whether it was kind of understanding the consumer or a little further along in the product, or how do you commercialize. So, I mean, hopefully they'll come away from this and really understand that, to make an amazing product, it isn't just one aspect. I mean, you've got to pull lots of pieces together. So why don't we start with our third place winner. Our third place winner is Nami Cleans. Congratulations. Congratulations. Great. Here. Great job. Put us on the list for one of those. Okay, the second place winner is who did an absolutely great job in their presentation. Matcha Lux. Great job. Great job. Great job. Great job.
Wow, it's a big job.
It is. It is. Congratulations. The first place winner, who we think really did an unbelievable comprehensive job of understanding the consumer deeply, building a prototype, understanding how the user was going to use the product. We could all see, all of the judges could see how this could be easily marketed on social media to build consumer demand, and that is Woven. Great job. Great job. Great job. Yeah. Big round of applause for Woven. Okay, great. Thanks. Okay. And one of the things that we saw through this process, as was mentioned earlier, was the mentorship piece, and what we could do at SharkNinja to kind of pay things forward, and whether that's advice around IP or that's advice around commercialization or market fit, we felt like there was an opportunity for us to have a golden ticket winner, and that golden ticket winner is going to get afforded an opportunity to have a lot of mentorship through folks at SharkNinja. And so we have a golden ticket winner, and the golden ticket winner is Green Park Lighting. Great job. Big round of applause for everyone. Can we bring John? John?
That's a wrap, folks. So thank you, judges, for all your hard work, all of your incredible decision-making prowess, your questions that challenge them, and hopefully when they go home, they're going to be thinking to themselves, okay, how can I solve those challenges so when I'm up here next time, I don't have to do so. So I want one word to close from each of you. You put everyone on the spot, I'm putting you on the spot. As you reflect on this experience and what we were able to do here together, is there something that immediately pops to your mind that you want to share with the audience today?
Inspiring. I mean, these are 19, 20, 21-year-old students that could be out at a bar right now, and instead they're thinking about how do I solve consumer problems. So, I mean, it's absolutely amazing.
I thought it was just outrageously extraordinary today. The ability to tell their story with so much confidence and so much heart and so much poise in answering the questions was just unbelievable.
Polished. It was unbelievably polished. It just totally took my breath away. The quality of the presentation and the pitches. unbelievably polished. Awesome.
So I completely agree with what's been said, but I'm going to take it in a slightly different direction and choose the word every day. I am somebody who worked in hair removal for a long time. I believe in the power of solving everyday problems and what that can bring to people's lives. So congratulations to all of you for choosing that path.
And thank you everyone here for sharing this experience with us. One charge I have for everyone in the room, because we're gonna break to a networking session, and you can filter out as you do. But think about making a call, sending an email to one of these teams that you heard here today with an introduction, a piece of advice, maybe a little bit of investment, right? So that we can help them along in their journey. Because these are the cream of the crop of university talent that's about to enter the workforce. And you know what? We want to give them the confidence to know that, you know what? This is not just a university project. This is a real business that you can scale. And we want to be here when you do. Thank you very much and have a great night. Thank you.
Great.
Well done.
Great.
Well done. Thank you. Pleasure. Absolute pleasure.